Testing. All right. You can cut out that other.
Hey, yo, aim.
Yeah. Run it up, Blondo.
Hey, see y'all from Texas, where we sit riding swangers and put diamonds in our niggas.
Woo! What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? It's your boy Doc Holiday. We back with another HBCU OverDrive. It's a live stream. Top 10 live. Make sure that you like the stream, comment, share, and most of all, subscribe to that channel. You know what to do. Hit everything HBCU OverDrive, and you know how we do it. We are simulcast between YouTube and Twitter. I would not call it X. It is called Twitter to me. Mama name of Twitter. I'm gonna call him Twitter. But other than that, man, look, we got some things going on this week. Y'all. So we got Swag Media Day for women's and men's basketball tomorrow and Friday. We also have on Friday our picks with myself and that cool noob Uncle Sid, as always. And on Saturday, I will be broadcasting that game live and in full effect for you to enjoy. And we gonna have the recap show afterwards. But again, make sure that you like the stream. Make sure that you comment, share. Most of all, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 2,500 subscribers. Let's go ahead and tell somebody. But other than that, man, look, we're gonna give a word from my good old sponsor. Be right back.
Yo, it's your boy Doc Holiday with HBCU OverDrive, and I am proud to sponsor Merch Sports. Check out his new line of collection, the Black College Football Fan Club collection. It's basically designed to show support and give respect to the rich history and tradition of black college football. And as you already know, the best college players had to play at HBCUs before integration. So go ahead and check it out over at shopmerchsports.com. Merch Sports. Merch for the sports enthusiasts.
It's your boy Doc Holiday. Become a subscriber on HBCU OverDrive on YouTube, and you can follow me on all social media platforms at HBCU_OverDrive on Twitter and Instagram. You can catch me on TikTok at Holiday1925 and on Facebook under my real name, David E. Smith Douglas. Also, when you become an exclusive family member, you get all the membership perks. You get all the exclusive members only videos, early access to new videos, member shout-outs, and members only live chats. And also you can get birthday shout outs on here and win member when you become a subscriber. You can also hit the donation to the Cash App at HBCU OverDrive. You can hit the PayPal David Smith 1925, and you can hit the Zelle David E. Smith 30 at gmail.com. Remember, all proceeds go towards the channel, not the pocket. All right, man, we back, and you know what? We about to go ahead and get into it. So let's go ahead and start off with our D2 top 10. Go ahead and start off with our D2 top 10. Now, when you're going to hear all this stuff for D2, you're going to be like, this ain't nothing but the CIAA talking. This ain't nothing but a CIAA list. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, man. Look, coming in, I don't have no honorable mentions because I I didn't see anybody that deserve honorable mention other than maybe Lane, which they got their first victory last week over Savannah State. But other than that, I don't see anybody that got honorable mention. But we're gonna start off at number 10, and I got Virginia Union coming in at number 10. They're still 1-1. They had a bye week. Of course, they was coming out their loss to I think who was that? They came out their loss to Hampton, if I'm not mistaken. So so they're coming in at number 10, and this is the to me, I feel like this is a price that you pay, even if you're idle. They're 1-1 right now. Even if you had a off week, there's other teams that I feel like that can actually jump over you and take your spot. But we're gonna go ahead and start off with Virginia Union number 10. Coming in at number 9, the little brother, the big brother, whatever you want to call them, Virginia State coming in at number 9. Again, they are 1-1. Again, they also had a bye week. They were coming out their loss to Norfolk State the week before. So, like I said, it comes down to the point where you might not play a game, but you got other teams that have played, but they look good and they can overtake you. They can jump over you. Coming in at 8, I have Fort Valley as Fort Valley State coming out their first win last week. They're 1-1. And the road doesn't get easy for Fort Valley. Just let everybody know. So they still got to kind of run a gauntlet. You still got to play. You still have to play your Tuskegee. You also have to play your I think Benedict, Lane, Savannah State, even Central State. If you really think about it, it has can give them a run for their money. But we'll get into all the games that are coming up this weekend after we finish out the top 10 for the D2. Coming in at number 7, I have Livingstone College. They are coming off of a victory. They are 2-1. Let me see, make sure. They are coming off a victory this past weekend. They are sitting at 2-1. With a victory over Allen University, 23-21. And it's still to say the CIAA is, for some reason, is kind of running the side. If you really think about it, just think about it. They are running teams in the SIAC. The CIAA has been pretty much the more dominant conference this season than the SIAC, but it's all to be basically, games still got to be played and stuff like that. Now, coming in at number 6, we got Elizabeth City State. They are 2-1 with a shutout win over Erskine College on the road, to be exact, where this game, Mr. DeMarcus Creasy had over 186 yards passing. Duckinson had 73 yards rushing, and Terrence Holland had 57 yards receiving. They did hold this. They really held Erskine to probably like a little bit over 200 yards of total offense in this game. But it's a big win. it's a big win for this program right here. And like I said, we'll get into the games coming up this week for CIAA and the SIAC afterwards. Coming in at number 5, we got Fayetteville State coming off a shutout win. A shutout. They coming in with a shutout loss. I'm sorry, to Valdosta State, 34-0. They went down to South Georgia, and Valdosta is basically one of those teams that are perennially in the playoffs in Division II. They are to me, they look like a championship team. Coach Jackson has them going. And basically, like I said, Fayetteville State is going to get back. They're going to get back to their winning ways. They just had ran into a buzzsaw in Valdosta. Now, coming in at number 4 on my list is Winston-Salem State. They are coming off a victory over Ohio Dominican University, 19-13, where they scored in the final seconds on a 1-yard plunge in the end zone. Where it basically in this game, they had the lead the whole game. They had the lead from beginning to end. Ohio Dominican kind of try to make some noise in the fourth quarter, where they actually tied the game up at 13 apiece. And basically, Mr. Hester with the 3-yard run to basically end the game, where final score again, 19-13, going to Winston-Salem State. Coming in at number 3 is Shaw University. And let's see what happened with Shaw. Shaw had a loss to Catawba College, 37-28, where this game was really close right here. So it makes them 2-1. Pretty much Catawba held Shaw in check, but Shaw made this game closer than what you really think. In the second quarter, in the second quarter, Shaw actually took the lead 21-14 against Catawba. Catawba scores in the third quarter to start off the third quarter, ties the game up to 21. They also kicked the field goal in the third quarter, and then they also had added another touchdown to make the score 30-21. They missed the extra point on that play, and then Shaw basically scores again, making 30-28. And after that, with 3 minutes left, they pretty much I feel like Shaw pretty much ran out of gas because they was trying to play catch up. Really, they had this game in hand. But in the end, they ended up being the loser. Now I could actually go back in and kind of rearrange this stuff right here. So rearrange the poll, but I'm gonna keep it to where it is. Coming in at number 2 is Clark Atlanta. Now, this is my other CIAA team that my other SIAC team that I have in the poll. Clark basically went down to Florida Memorial. This was a good game to begin with, but the weather played a part in this game.
Also, they wanted to finish out this game, but due to the fact that um, Clark was on a time, they was on a time schedule as far as with the buses and stuff like that. And of course, the weather still being in the play because they did halt the game again at this time. And it was it was at halftime. They suspended the game. Both teams ended up with you could say a tie, but we haven't had ties in college football in over 20 years. Um, right. It don't hurt Clark because they still sit atop. They still sit atop the side. This doesn't pertain to a loss. But I am iffy about the defense because going up 7 in the first quarter, you give up 28 points in the second quarter alone to this Florida Memorial team, which, like I said, they are dangerous. They are a dangerous team when their backs are against the wall. They have fast, speedy receivers. They have playmakers on the defensive side. This you have to go back, look at the game last week, the week before when they played Edward Waters, and you will see how good this Flomo team really is. Another thing, David Wright was dead. David Wright pretty much was about to go for another 400-yard game passing on Saturday if they did not stop this game at halftime. And in fact, the way that both defenses was playing, both quarterbacks, Saquon Smith, David Wright, they both could have went for 400 yards passing in this game if they would have continued this game up. All right. Like I said, Clark, this game is, they suspended it. Basically, it's a tie. Some people call it as a loss. I don't see it as a loss. I see it as a tie. Now, if they really want to go back out there and play it again, to play the game again, they could. But like I said, time restrictions, scheduling, it plays a part in this right here. But we shall see what happens later on down the line when playoff implications come into play. And when it comes down to conference play, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. And my number one team for the second week in a row is Johnson C. Smith. I don't know what Coach Flowers done put in these kids' cereal and they cornflakes or frosted flakes or whatever, but this team is on a roll. This is their first conference win in a big way. This game against Lincoln, Pennsylvania, Johnson C. Smith wins the game, dominates in this game from start to finish, 52-6. At one point, it was 31-6 at halftime. And then, of course, defense is the name of the game for the Golden Bulls. Darius Ocean almost had 300 yards passing. Brevin Caldwell with another 100-yard game receiving. This game could have went even more off the rails. Let's just say it just like that. This game could have went even more off the rails if JCSU did not just they let their foot off the gas for a little bit. But other than that,
this team, to me, I feel like is the real deal. I'm not being a homer or anything like that. I'm not, kissing nobody butt or nothing like that. But I feel like this team is the real deal. This team, I think this team can challenge Fayetteville State. I think they could challenge the Virginia schools. I think they have a chance if they can get past those three, even Shaw. I think they have a chance to actually win the whole conference. It is. I mean, I'm just saying, it is what it is. But let's go ahead and get to the game that's coming up this weekend in CIAA. We got Shaw that's going to be at home against Lincoln, Pennsylvania. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff. This is a conference game coming up for Shaw, and another. This is the second conference game for Lincoln, Pennsylvania. Virginia State and Winston-Salem State clash in Ettrick, Virginia, 1 p.m. Kickoff. To me, I feel like this is probably one of my games of the week right here for the CIAA. You got Elizabeth City State taking on Fayetteville State, 2 p.m. kickoff down in Fayetteville. This is going to be very interesting, too, because there's a lot of parity in this conference right here. Livingstone and Bowie have a 4 p.m. date at Bowie, Maryland. When I get to the picks on Friday, we'll talk. Me and Uncle said we'll talk about more about the picks on Friday with these teams right here. And the big one, Virginia Union goes on the road to the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, 6 p.m. kickoff against Johnson C. Smith. That is the big game of the week for in the CIAA, and that is my CIAA game of the week right there. Now, like I said, I had co-games of the week because you got Winston-Salem taking on Virginia State, but the biggest game would be Virginia Union versus Johnson C. Smith. Johnson C. Smith wins this game. If they win against Union, if the defense play up to their billing, that they are the top defense in this conference. In fact, they are pretty much the top defense in Division II. Hey, Miss Desi, look for Johnson C. Smith to make some noise. Like I said, if they can get past both Virginia schools and Fayetteville and make a game against Shaw, Johnson C. Smith is the real deal. All right. Now, in my SIAC games, so my SIAC game of the week, we got a game on Thursday, tomorrow. Edward Waters goes on the road to Columbia, South Carolina, take on Benedict. That's an 8 p.m. kickoff. That game is on ESPN too. Make sure y'all check that game out tomorrow night. So that 8 o'clock Eastern time, 7 o'clock Central. Make sure you check that game out tomorrow. ESPN 2. SAG football is going to be live and in full effect in Columbia. Then on Saturday, we got Albany State taking on Central State. This is the game that is going to be in Rochester, New York. This is another classic right here. I'm gonna get my pick. Like I said, I'm gonna get my picks on Friday. Savannah State goes up the road and take on Tuskegee. 2 p.m. kickoff over at Cleve Abbott Stadium. Make sure you tune into that. Also, Clark Atlanta goes on the road to Daytona Beach to take on Bethune-Cookman University. This game is on HBCU Go. This is at 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff right here, 2 p.m. for us in the Central. Uh, should be a good game. See how well Clark tests against the big boys. Morehouse versus Kentucky State. This is another game, another classic in Chicago. I think this is the win. If I'm not mistaken, this is the Windy City Classic. If I'm not mistaken, um, toilet bowl game, whatever you want to call it. Hey, it is what it is. Lane and Miles clash in Birmingham. This game is on ESPN Plus, 5 p.m. kickoff Eastern, 4 p.m. for us folks that don't live on that side of the nation. Um, this might turn out to be a pretty good game right here. Fort Valley goes to the Delta to take on Delta State in Cleveland, Mississippi. This game will be brought to you by Flow Sports. Why? 6 p.m. kickoff time for both for this game right here. And then Point University makes a trip down to Blythewood, South Carolina, take on Allen. This is also a 6 p.m. kickoff time. That is the schedule for the SIAC right there. And the CIAA. Now let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and run it to the Division One top 10. I don't know if people get mad. I don't know if you want to get mad or what. But Division One top 10. My honorable mention, I have Alabama State, Morgan State, and Alcorn on the two. Bama State and Morgan State coming off losses. Both close losses. Morgan State 21-6 loss to Ohio University, and Alabama State coming off a 12-7 loss to Samford. Alcorn got their first victory this season. That came at the expense of Edward Waters coming to the reservation. So, like I said, both teams are sitting at 1-2. I mean, all three teams sitting at 1-2. Now, coming in at number 10, we have North Carolina Central at 1-2. The reason why I dropped down to number 10 is the issue. We don't know what's going on with Walker Harris. They also play University of North Carolina. They did hold their own in this game right here, but at the same time, the injury to the quarterback is the reason why I dropped down to number 10. At number 9, I have Prairie View that's coming in at 1-2. They went up to East Lansing, took on the Big Ten power Michigan State got goose egg 40-0. There's some things that I kind of did like in this game, but there's some things I did not like in this game. And I asked Coach Bubba what he can do as far as remedy the defense going from now on into the next game. And, actually making sure, quarterback situation with Cam Peters. Is he good? Is he ready? Is he coming along? He is like one of the top passers in the conference right now. Number 8 belongs to Texas Southern University. They're at 1-1. Of course, they had a bye week last week, and now they start the Texas swing again. They are in Beaumont this weekend taking on Lamar University. We shall see what happens with this game right here, because like what I saw with Lamar and Mississippi Valley, this team was not disciplined at all for Lamar. And I like what I'm hearing from Coach Dishman and what he is bringing to the program right now. Number 7 is Alabama A&M. They are 2-1. Now, Jay White is about to make himself Negrodamus, because he kind of did predict that they could either go 3-1 or 2-2 in this, these first 4 games before they hit their gauntlet. Coming off I wouldn't say a tough win, but against NAIA powered Georgetown College.
24-16. I have nothing else to say about that game right there, except for um, Georgetown College kind of made A&M look like a JV team, but that's just my opinion right there. Coming in at number 6, we got Grambling. They're back on the winning track. They are 2-1 right now, so they are on a 2-game winning streak. They can't come into Northeast Texas to take on A&M Commerce, and they come out with a 35-28 victory in overtime against Texas A&M Commerce, where this game they forced 6 turnovers, 4 interceptions, 2 fumbles, but they only had 200 yards of total offense. Miles Crawley looked pedestrian, seriously. And Grambling's run defense, gave up over 250 yards of rushing to the Lions of A&M Commerce. Now, Grambling has a real test coming up this weekend. We'll get into that after we finish this ranking right here. Number 5 goes to Hampton, the Pirates. They are at 2-1. They are coming off of a big victory this weekend where, let me get this. Everything is on my phone, so apologize about that. They are coming off a big victory over Norfolk State, 37-7, and where at this time in this game, Hampton was up 23-0 in like the first half. Norfolk State got some issues right now, so I just feel like they need to go ahead and get back to the drawing board. And Hampton has a big rivalry game this weekend. We'll get into that also. Coming in at number 4, we got Tennessee State. They are 2-1, coming off I wouldn't call it a demolition, but it was a big victory over Arkansas Pine Bluff, 41-28 in the Southern Heritage Classic. Draylon Ellis looked like Draylon Ellis from Austin P. He looked like the Austin P version of himself in this game, where he threw for over 300 yards in this game right here. Well, not 300, but 200, over 200 yards, but 3 touchdowns, but no interceptions. That is the best thing that he had going. Tennessee State, I feel like they are rolling right now. They have a tough matchup this weekend against Tennessee Tech. We'll get into that in a minute. But that game is going to be on ESPN Plus at 1:30 p.m. Let's see. All right. But let's go ahead and let's continue on. That is my number 14 right now. Number 3 is Howard, sitting at 2-1 with their demolishing of Morehouse. And the truth is in the Classic in New York City at East Rutherford, 35-21. Scroggins did not play in this game, so they brought Turbo out, and he did phenomenal in this contest right here. And they still have some big games to play this weekend. This weekend, like I said, big rivalry game, and also the games that they have coming up
later on down the line, in which one of those games would be against Tennessee State, which is their homecoming right there. That's going to be a big one right there. So we shall see what happens. They have they are they will be 4 games, 4 out of 6 games, 4 out of 7 games into their non-conference schedule. And that's crazy as far as the MEAC goes. Coming in at number 2, I have FAMU coming in at number 2. They are 2-1. They had a bye week. They go on the road this weekend to Troy University to take on the Trojans down in South Alabama. What else can I say? I mean, I could have flip-flopped Howard at 2 and FAM at 3. I could have flip-flopped them with Tennessee State or Hampton or even Grambling, Alabama A&M. It is what it is, but I feel like FAMU is one of the more stronger teams. What's up, Mr. Brown? Is one of the more stronger teams in the SWAC. So that's the reason why I kept them at number 2. And we all know when the real deal Holyfield is going to be, and that'll be October the 19th. And coming in at number 1, I have Jackson State at number 1, 2-1 right now. They coming off a big victory over our arch rival Southern University, 33-15, where this game was dominated on both sides of the ball. Offensively, we had close to 400 yards of total offense, almost had 200 yards of rushing. In this game, Cam McCoy did go out with an apparent head injury, but from what I'm hearing with Coach Taylor, that he is going to be doing fine, and he is a day-to-day. He is day-to-day with what he got going on. Defensively, run defense, we held run defense. Jackson State held Sutter to 29 yards of total rushing yards, but gave up a ton of yards in the air between both Noah Baldwin and Zay T-Set. Zay T-Set went out of the game with an apparent ankle injury. He is day-to-day. And Baldwin came in. He basically did what he was supposed to do. You know, he carved up our secondary, carved up Jackson State secondary for 357 yards passing in the game. And I think he passed for one. I think it was 1 touchdown, if I'm not mistaken, 1 or 2. I have to go back. I'm gonna go back. In fact, let me go back and look at the stat sheet for this. And it's not home cooking. It's just the fact that this is what I see. This is how I feel that it is. So yeah, passed for 1 touchdown. CJ Russell ran in for another touchdown. Both 2-point conversion attempts failed, and Josh Griffith with the long field goal basically made it the 15 that they scored. But like I said, this game was a tale of 2 tapes. Well, we shall see, because we got a strong opponent coming in. We got a strong opponent going into the game this weekend, so we'll get into all that right there. Like I said, trench play on both sides, so both sides of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, trench play just blew everybody off the ball. Blew the defensive line out the ball. On the defensive side, it was like in the backfield, almost every other play in the backfield, every other play. But like I said, we did get gashed in the air for 357 yards by Noah Bolden. But those are basically empty calorie stats right there to me. They did bring back Herb Mulligan. Herb Mulligan did play in this game. Had 51 yards and a touchdown on 13 carries. Also, J.D. Martin with 33 yards. He also had a touchdown on 12 carries. And Ahmad Miller with his three carries for 35 yards and a touchdown, making a call to the house where TC pointed him to go home. Which I think that's one of the most funniest clips that I've seen right there. What's going on, Mr. Edwin? Travis Terrell with another 34 yards rushing. Cam had 23, Jacobian 13, and Amari Matthews with 12. I mean, at the end of the day, this was pretty much almost total domination as far as running the ball. But we shall see this coming up weekend. And so let's go ahead and get into the games that's coming up this weekend for both SWAC, MEAC, and our independents. So let's start off with the independents. We got, like I said, Tennessee State taking on Tennessee Tech this coming up weekend. They will be in Cookeville, Tennessee. That's a 1:30 kickoff time. That's 1:30 kickoff time for this game right here. Tennessee Tech coming in at 0-2. Again, Tennessee State 2-1. I feel like they can ride high once they get towards to me, when they get towards playing SEMO and Tennessee Martin, those are going to be your real big tests right there coming in. I'm not devaluing it. It was the fact that they had to play. They got to make sure I'm just looking at. I'm just seeing how it is, Mr. Edwin. All I know is it was a lot of yardage being thrown in there, but they didn't capitalize on it until it was late in the game. That's where I'm coming from. That's why I say it's empty calorie yards. And let me say this too. I did say we did get gashed in the air. That he picked us apart throwing the ball. So, and I looked at it. The reason why he picked us apart because we kept the middle of the field wide open because we had all of we were blitzing. We did drop no linebackers in coverage. The middle part of the field, the safeties didn't drop down. So don't there would be no cowboy slander in my chat today. Never, ever, no cowboy slander. And yeah, Mr. Lawrence, Tennessee State can't start off 0-1 in conference play because to me they'll be behind the 8 ball if they do. They'll be behind the 8 ball if they start off 0-1. But I think this game, they can advance this game because last season, remember, they played this same team last year and got dog walked in this game to the point where it was a shutout. They got shut out in this game. So, hey, basically it's something that they can, they looking at it, they probably cross it out, they probably circle it on the schedule like, yeah, we got to get them back. As far as the other independents go, we have North Carolina, A&T, and Central, and then Hampton and Howard. But I'm gonna add them in to the MEAC, talk. So yeah, let's go ahead and hit that MEAC right now. Games coming up this weekend. Norfolk State takes on VMI. Norfolk State comes in at 1-3. VMI, Virginia Military, comes in at 0-3. 12:30 kickoff on ESPN Plus. If Norfolk loses to VMI, it is time to just wipe the slate clean at Norfolk and start all over. Just wipe it clean. All right. Richmond goes to Dover, takes on Delaware State. Both teams coming in at 1-2. Like I said, I'm gonna get my picks on that on Friday. Morgan State takes on Virginia Lynchburg next. Howard takes on Hampton in the Battle of the Real HU, or the official name of this classic is the Truth and Service Classic, because for some folks in the MEAC, they say they don't work, they don't play classics. I beg to differ. Both teams coming in at 2-1. 3 p.m. kickoff time. I think this game is on, I think this is on CNBC, if I'm not mistaken. Either CNBC or MSNBC, one of them things, one of the channels. And then the Aggie Eagle Classic, A&T Central, both teams coming in at 1-2. 6 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus. This is going to be real interesting right here. Very interesting, especially from all the talks of Central saying that the members of the Blue and Gold Marching Machine had to pay $50 to come into the game. If that ain't petty right there, oh my God. If that ain't petty, if that ain't gonna that's gonna end up on the calendar. Might as well just go ahead and get ready for that. And then with the SWAC play coming up, man. Look, we got Clark versus Bethune Cookman. I already said that this is gonna be a Daytona. Bethune, if you lose to Clark, don't say nothing to me. Don't go past go. Don't collect $200. Go straight to jail. Mississippi Valley goes down to Thibodaux, take on Nickel State. Both teams are 0-3. 3 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus. Central Arkansas goes to Pine Bluff in a United Athletic Conference SWAC play. It's kind of strange saying that. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff. Alabama A&M goes up to Clarksville to take on Austin Peay. A&M again 2-1. Austin Peay is 0-3. 6 p.m. kickoff at ESPN Plus. Again, Florida A&M takes on Troy down in South Alabama. FAMU 2-1. Troy coming in at 0-3. 6 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus. Southern takes on Prairie View in a pivotal SWAC West matchup. Both teams coming in at 1-2. Both teams are coming off of big losses. This game at Prairie View, Panther Stadium, 6 p.m. ESPN Plus. Texas Southern goes I-10 East to Beaumont, take on Lamar. 6 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus. Texas Southern 1-1, Lamar 2-1. Alcorn goes to Lake Charles, takes on McNeese State. 7 p.m. kickoff ESPN Plus. Alcorn coming in at 1-2, and McNeese is at 2-2. Got some. Hey Ed, you can't spell sucks without SU. And my game of the week in the SWAC is Jackson State going to the hole. Take on Grambling. 6 p.m. kickoff, ESPN Plus. Both teams coming in at 2-1. Both teams coming off a high. We shall see. Hey, Leonard, your team is the better team in Tallahassee. Come on now. Your team is the better team in Tallahassee. Ain't you proud of that? Aren't you proud of that? Because they lose to California, oh, it's gonna be no, you're not, bro. Let me run this by you. Who said that? I said that. I said that. I said your team is the better team in Tallahassee. Listen. Your team, FAMU, is the better team in Tallahassee, meaning that your team right now is better than the team across the tracks in Florida State. Florida State loses to Cal. That's it. It's done. And then they on the road next week. They coming to Dallas to take on SMU. It's it. I'm telling you, I'm not saying about FAMU's team is better than last year's team. I'm saying your team is better than the other team in Tallahassee. But I guess you ain't got no confidence in your team. So, who said, and then another thing, who said anything about Prime's team? Who said anything about Deion Sanders? Nobody mentioned that charlatan in this chat. I didn't mention him at any time point. So I want you to I want you and I know we both come from we both stay in predominantly Republican states, but I want you to go to reading is fundamental. Listening is key. So I'm gonna need you to listen. All right. I didn't say you can't beat Troy. It is if you beat Troy, you are number one in my book. You are number one in my poll next week. I didn't say you can't beat them. I said, and let me reiterate this. I said, oh, okay, you responded to Ed's post, but okay, I'm about to say, I just want you to understand, your team is better than the other team in Tallahassee. I even asked Coach Cozy, hey, your team better than the other team that you used to play for. Now, if y'all can't beat Troy, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's gonna be the same old, same old. I didn't say you can't beat. I didn't. I'm not saying that you can't beat Florida State. What I said is Florida A&M Rattlers is the better Tallahassee team. It's better than the Florida State Seminoles right now in Tallahassee. That is what I'm saying. Or do you need to take you some Q-tips and clean the wax out your damn ears? I sometimes I feel like some people just need to listen, clean the wax out their ears, and have a clear mind and conscience. So, other than that, man, look, I done did my hour. I done did my hour show. Make sure you check. We do. I think we got the women's basketball media day starts tomorrow. Men starts on the men's is on Friday. But what if y'all beat Troy? I'm just asking. Y'all got so much self doubt. What if y'all beat Troy? What if y'all go down to Troy? What if y'all go into that stadium and beat them? That's what I'm saying. What if they go down there and actually beat them head up? Then what will y'all say if y'all come? Oh man, I knew we could do it. I don't want to hear that bull. You can have Meg stab your head. Come on now. But I'm just saying, this is football. Anything is possible in football. But if you don't see it that way, oh well. Oh well. Oh well. Florida State already lost to Georgia Tech conference game. They lost to Boston College conference game. Uh, he lost to Memphis last week. In which I said Memphis was gonna come down there and beat them. Cookman is facing the number 2 D2 team on my poll right now, Clark Atlanta. Well, anyway, man, look, I'm about to roll up out of here because I got to get ready for work. I don't know if I want to go or not, but I got to get ready for work. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow, and also make sure you tune in on Friday for me and Uncle Sid's picks and games of the week, and we'll be seeing y'all later. For all those folks that's on Twitter, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Also follow me on Facebook and on Instagram and on TikTok if you have all those. And make sure you come on to the dark side of YouTube and hit that subscribe button. We are going to trying to get to 2,500 subscribers, trying to elevate this thing, let this thing grow. Also check out the merchandise shop on the YouTube channel. Also, got some good hoodies coming up. We got hoodies and t-shirts. Hoodies should be, get them while you can. When the fall hits, when that first wind come, get you a hoodie. But as always, man, y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe. Hug your loved ones. We out this thing. Peace.